Okay, I'm Professor Paul Jakubek. I teach finance and economics here at Manhattanville College, and I'd be happy to respond.
Yes, large company.
Okay, large companies, I think team building and employee morale are really very big issues nowadays, probably more so than maybe it was in the past. And I think part of the reason for that is the younger generation is very much in tune with those kinds of needs of employees, and how do they go about doing it. There's a lot of team projects in big companies nowadays rather than individual employees doing a project on their own. They tend to be more in teams, anywhere from probably 3, 5, 10 people at a time, and that, if you're not good at working in a team, you're not going to do well in that kind of an environment. And I know they do a lot of training in terms of trying to promote teamwork and a corporate identity and things of that nature. So
Corporation?
I think a lot, and I think it depends on the company. Look at a company like Google, where people, what do they call them? Googleites or something, people who work there, and they're true believers in Google. You know, they eat, drink, and sleep Google. I guess Apple's the same kind of a company. So those are extreme companies where the employees, you hear stories of them sleeping under their desks at night and things like that. Most companies aren't like that. So at one end you have companies like that, and then everybody else is probably in between. But it certainly is important. You have to feel as if what you're doing is important, the company that you work for is doing something that you either wholeheartedly support or at least feel good about. You don't want to be working for, if you're an environmentalist, you probably don't want to be working for a company, a paper company that's cutting down trees. I mean, as an example. So. Well, if you have a team, say, in a company, and you have a project going, and one of the team members is having a problem either with other members of the team or with the part of the project that they're working on or responsible for, then the other team members will get after them to contribute to the success of the team. And if they feel like that team member isn't holding up their end, then probably there'll be some kind of repercussions or discussion about how to bring that person along.
Oh, for sure.
Again, speaking of a team, the best thing is for morale is for all the team members to feel that every member of the team is contributing to the success of the team, that they're handling their part of the project in a competent manner, and that the project will end up being a success. I don't think there's any better morale booster than that. It's really not donuts on Friday or colored balloons on Wednesday. It's more, is the team achieving what the team is looking to achieve. All those other things kind of are add-ons to maybe make the mood of the team better, but it all comes down to what are we supposed to be accomplishing, and are we accomplishing it? Yes and no. I mean, it's not realistic to think that every project a team is going to get involved in is going to be some sexy project that's crucial to the survival of the company. Some of the projects can be rather mundane and ordinary, but it doesn't mean they're not important. So, and again, once the project team is formed and management kind of assigns the project, it's their job to oversee the project and to make sure it's meeting critical guidelines and deadlines and things like that. But in my experience, management usually doesn't want to, nor are they going to hover over the team and say, did you do this, did you do this, did you do this? You're responsible for doing it. And again, like we were talking about before, if there's a problem, resolve it yourself. And if it's a bigger problem, then you go back to management. And they don't want to be bothered with the small things, the details, just the overall success of the project.
I don't know if you've heard about it.
Right, but the fact that the joint venture fell apart tells you something about you have an American company and a Japanese company, and the Japanese companies are known for close teamwork. American companies less so. But the fact that they couldn't work it out, and look at the problems General Motors is having now. I mean, all the teamwork in the world, even if it did rub off on General Motors, hasn't really saved the company. The company's in tremendous difficulty even after the bailout. So, it's more than words. It's actions, and it's individuals being accepting. You're going to be working for more than a paycheck and more than just your job. I hope that you view it as a career and something I have a genuine interest in, something I want to become really excellent and professional at, and your career will go where your career will go based on your efforts and your knowledge and how you work your way up, if you will. Yes, because you're a professional. When you leave the hallowed halls of Manhattanville College and go out into your career, I mean, it's your career. Whether you're in finance, or whether you're a doctor, or whether you're a musician or something like that, you have to have pride in what you do. Otherwise, you're going to get bored with what you're doing. It's going to become just a job. It's going to become a drag, and you'll probably have to find something else to do. But it's professional pride, it's professional competence, it's the desire to be good at what you do, self-motivating, and on the other side, the company can provide incentives, whether it's money or tools, environment, things, projects, access to different things. And when the two meet together and it all works, then you have a very not only successful career financially and from a satisfaction point of view, but also the company does well.
And do you think that and they used to before?
Well, it seems to be what people are doing. If there's one job and 20 people competing for it, then you're going to, if you want to be realistically considered for that job, you're going to have to behave in a certain way. So that's just the way it is right now. But in an ideal world, it wouldn't matter, because you would still be motivated to do a good job because it's something that you want to do. I mean, companies think so because they come up with these big corporate mission statements and they make a big public statement of who they are and what they believe in. Does it matter for most consumers? I don't really know. For me, it doesn't matter that much, but for someone else it might. And I would buy product A over product B because I believe in product A's company more than I do in product B's company. I don't know. People nowadays, getting back to your comment about unemployment and recession, people seem to be going back to buying basic products now rather than buying name brand products. If I can buy this cereal, which costs 20% less than this name brand cereal, I might do it even if I don't have a particular emotional attachment to this cereal B over here.
And from a student perspective,
you would know that it's more important to some people than others. Some people might feel very strongly that they want to work for a company that has a certain set of values. Other people might be less, it might be less important for them. They just would like to get somewhere started where they're actually getting paid. People go into the nonprofit sector because they believe for a particular nonprofit they support that. They'd be willing to take less money to work there. It depends on the individual. Everybody's different, and what A does, B might do differently, and C might do differently. So I don't think you can generalize at all.